Yeah, if I start lagging, let me know.
All right.
My internet's been funky. I just gotta invite people in here. Hold on a second. We go open live. I don't even know if the market's open right now. To be honest,
It's not.
I'm guessing maybe Asia doesn't have. Well, Asia though, right? Asia. I don't know if they have a holiday today, but I know we do in North America.
What do you have?
Uh, it's just called Nova Scotia Day. I think it's just like a Heritage Day thing. I think they call it. Um, but you guys have President's Day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In live stream. Yeah, I was gonna. I thought about going on YouTube, man, but I didn't have the patience to set it up tonight. It frustrated me. That's so like laggy. Man, I'm telling you, it drives me nuts on there lately. Yo, 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 yo. I can't even say yo that many times that quickly, bro. That hurts a. That's like a tongue twister.
Yo 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 yo. Gang 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 gang.
Yeah, so I've been waiting for a few more people to get in here, I guess. What's going on, Raven?
You're lagging a
Raven.
little bit, but
I am?
a little bit. It keeps doing that like transformer sounding thing.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to switch networks very quick. Why is it doing that? Hold on.
What's up, gang?
Okay, is it still lagging?
It
Let me turn some
sounds.
stuff off right
No, no,
quick.
no. You sound good.
That's so weird, bro. I don't understand why that does that. I think it's my microphone. I think it's because I didn't hook my other mic up yet. I'm using my MacBook mic, and it could be the like I turned my head a little bit. Maybe if I move it over, because I'm turning my head and I'm looking at a monitor kind of like to the right instead of head on. That could be the problem. And I turn my head, and it's like cutting in and out. The mic isn't picking it up correctly, perhaps. I don't know. But whatever. We'll manage. We'll manage. All right. So there's a few different zones that I was watching on Bitcoin. I don't have them all open right now because I cleared my chart. I don't really think we have to worry about them. We can find them again here soon anyway, in the event we start coming down lower to here or into here. Um,
On your
to
screen.
be honest, man, this was.
You're not sharing your
I'm not
screen.
sharing my stream.
No.
God, bro. Okay.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, bro, I got you. Okay. That's my bad, guys. That's my bad. Yeah, I'll look at your bro. This guy trades underwear. He likes underwear. Anyway, that says Ondo is a fan of underwear. Okay. Yeah. So this was actually not a bad little long down here. It wasn't a bad little long. We held the anchor V whilst from the low, from this low at 65,000. We held them pretty nicely. We have already had a touch on the upper one, but we haven't tested the lower one. And the lower one is just, you guys know what I do. I just change the setting to low on a low pull, and I change 1 to HLC divided by 3 on the same exact pull, and I duplicate it, and I use it as a range. We didn't, oftentimes if you only test one and price gravitates back in, most times it doesn't just bounce off the top one again. It will come in. Like, look at this beautiful touch off it. Right. I mean, obviously it went through over here, sure, but you had a beautiful reaction off of it. You have a 3-tap, a Model 2 accumulation here on Bitcoin into that breaker block. I told you guys, in my channel earlier, I had said in the event that this is going to hold, this would be the most bullish possible outcome, or could produce the most bullish outcome. Why? Because you already had structure, and it's nice structure too, breaking up very aggressively. And then you can kind of see like a distribution like move here. It's like a 3 drive, but it's not a great looking distro, because I wouldn't even count that as a 1. Like, I don't like calling this a tap 1, this 2, and this 3. This is more like a typical standard retail 3 drive pattern. It's not a distribution for me. I don't even care. Excuse me. I don't care if it goes all the way down. That's not a valid distro. And plus, the distro was on a weekend. Give me a break. Like, how often do those hold? Not very often, right? So I'm not really looking at that and saying, oh, yeah, that's the top. We're going to 0 or anything like that. That's not really my intention right now. I actually am more leaning more up and down, but we do have more things below us that we could still tap into, of course, before going higher. Now, that being said, again, you have a 3 drive pattern with a breakdown. I would say based on, the traditional 3 drive and where people would target on the 3 drive, the target's been met. This kind of pattern, the target is generally like the last leg. from here to here down, like a measured move, right? We didn't hit all of it, but we hit most of it. And I know people are looking at that. There's a lot of pattern traders these days, so they certainly would have been looking at that. Um, so on a lower time frame scale, I didn't get into Bitcoin long. I did take an ETH long earlier, but I didn't go in full risk on it because it was kind of, now obviously my anchor VWAPs are going to change because I'm on a lower time frame. So just keep that in mind. Let me hide those very quickly. So you can kind of see it, right? One, you got two, and you got three, and then you got your reconfirmation of structure here on the 2 minute. It's also your 1 minute reconfirm. Technically, you had one here, and it was a fake out. Why did it fake out? Because there was an order block left behind down here. So if you were to have longed, what just happened there? If you were to have longed that initial fake out, you shouldn't have been stopped out on that, because if you see this kind of move and you're trading using my theory, using my guidelines to get into a Model 2 trade, you would have pulled your range low here. You would have had a range high up here. This would have been your range. And then you would have seen the deviation threshold mitigation. Okay, cool. And then you would have called that 1. 2 as a whole. Price breaks up here. Price breaks up here. Comes down. Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. So if you had along that move, the problem with it is if you have something to come back for, you have to cover that something on your stop loss. If you do not, this will happen to you, right? This exact thing will happen to you. Oh no, it's coming back. Why is that coming back? That shouldn't have tagged you out of a trade, right? Like again, you should have had your stop underneath the low, and you can see it's only a little order block here, but it is significant enough that price will come back for these. It is a 2 minute block, right? Even though it's, tiny, you'd be damn surprised at how often that happens. In fact, if you were ballsy enough, taking a reaction off of that would have been like actually a very, very nice risk reward trade. I mean, not using the 2 minute per se, but using the 1 minute, as the candle's engulfing out of the move here, you could have longed here with the stop under the order block, and just up to the range high is 7.5%. That's crazy. It's actually like that's a beautiful trade right there. Like this is a picture perfect trade. I take these 10 times out of 10, by the way, if I was watching this, which I wasn't paying enough attention because I was still driving home and dealing with stuff because we had a holiday weekend. But this is a trade I always take. Like if you're looking for a perfect example of something that I like, this is it right here. You got your 1, you got your 2. And I actually like when I have a 2 like this. That's not a quick wick in. I can see that there's very, very clear trap traders in here. That's better for me. I like that better. Also, you notice how the low here was left intact, right? It kind of have liquidity here. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. It's an accumulation regardless. So you got 1, you got 2, you got 3. The extreme point demand zone was mitigated. It didn't necessarily have to come back for here. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll break structure and it'll do this, which is why I still think this would have been worth a long regardless, with a stop here, and then I would have added in here. My average entry would have been here in the middle of both. That's how I would have traded that one if I was paying attention, with a stop below that low, of course, because there's no reason to come below it unless it's a Model 1. If I get stopped out trying a Model 1, well, then I take it as a brand new trade. Sometimes that happens. So I'm going to cancel the replay. We'll see where we are now relative to the range. So as you can see, price continued higher, higher, higher. Eventually, we came in to test this supply range. This whole thing is supply, right? The whole range is supply. But if you refine it down further, where is your last buy to sell? Your last buy to sell was right here, right? So you would draw that in as your refined range bound supply. Okay, RBS. I kind of like that abbreviation that my friend told me the other day. RBS, RBD, RBS. So you have RBS supply right here. And now notice something else. With the RBS supply, there's a lot of liquidity curling this way. So would I ever try to limit order a zone like this? No, never in a million years, because I see this. Now, if this had taken liquidity and I was confident in that level, then yeah, I would try a partial limit on that, no problem. It struck them in. Now, here's the thing, right? Structure didn't break coming into the move. This is where you really got to watch, right? Let me just change this to a different color so we can see it. So structure is in red here. Now, wait, it's not working? Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, shit.
I hear you, man. And it's, and
Yeah,
it's
but
been,
you see my screen?
yeah, I see your screen too.
I just read all that, damn it. Sound is fine. What? No sound.
I think some people just have their settings. Usually, if they exit out of Discord and come back, it usually works fine. There is a little bit of glitchiness, but nothing crazy.
Wonder why it's doing that, man. That's so weird.
Guys, if one of you guys can
Um,
help the people who can't hear, I know this has been a common theme, having to fix your sound settings. If you
it
guys
must
can
be.
help them out.
It must be Discord, bro. It's got to be Discord, bro. It's got to be. It's got to be Discord. Yeah, I didn't have the patience to do YouTube tonight. That's on me. But I don't. I don't. Now I feel like I just wasted a big explanation.
Nah, freaking, it's recorded. You're good.
Oh, it's recorded anyway. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
okay.
had all that. So
All that. So, okay, hold on one second. My dogs are being stupid. What's that sound?
Discord usually freaking defaults people's settings. That's why they can't hear. So I would double check your guys' settings and make sure everything's on point. Like I said, guys in the chat, you've had this happen before. If you could just guide the others, that would be great.
Okay, make sure you don't have your. Yeah, okay. They're gonna have to just follow the instructions, bro, because like I'm tying everybody up here. Okay, try. I'm just gonna make one message real quick. Try restarting Discord. Everything should work fine. Exit the actual app. Bro, that's so weird, man. Being recorded though. Worst case. What the fuck is the dog doing? I'm on a stream. My God. Okay. Well, they can't hear me anyway, so I'm kidding. I know some of you guys can hear me. Raven's like, here we go. All I hear is dogs fighting. I don't understand. Well, she'll follow. My dog's trying to climb a ladder for reference. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. Anywho, I'm just going to continue. Okay, we got to record it anyway. If people can pass that along in the messages, that'd be cool. I can't get delayed right now because I'm on a time crunch. So I lost what I was saying. I completely forget where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so we had we had supply here, right? You have a buy to sell. Now you have a buy to sell, but you have liquidity above, right? And oftentimes you'll kind of purge past that a little bit. As you can see, there's a little bit of a purge of that supply zone right over here. No big deal, right? Because you reacted in. This shouldn't have been a short. There was nothing to short. It was a straight shot up with a higher low with a reconfirmation for a higher high. Right? So you really shouldn't have been shorting that. You should not have been shorting that move. I would never have taken that short. And if you did take the short, hopefully you took it like way up here that you could have de-risked the trade in time and you had sense to close it out when structure flipped back against you. Bro, I am giving it all the signals here. I am giving it all the signals, man. You can't hear me. The guy can't hear me, but anywho, yeah, we have the structure leading up. Structure breaks down again. I think if I had a trade at this move, I probably would have taken it not even right here. I probably would have traded the breakdown of the range, to be honest. I know that sounds a little risky, and sometimes I'll take these. I probably would have gotten in either here, kind of like this, or covering that supply right here. I would have tried this. I definitely wouldn't have done this. Okay, I can tell you right now, that's too shallow of a break for me. I wouldn't have done that because it could have been a reaccumulation because it actually went through supply. So I wouldn't have taken a riskier entry on that one. I think I know it sounds risky, but the breakdown actually wasn't risky in that regard. So now what are we dealing with? Right now we have more supply above, we have demand below. There's a 10-minute OB right here that we missed with these lows. Now the problem with that is you are breaking the accumulation model in order to get down into that zone, right? This is no longer valid. If we come back to this low again right here, this is no longer valid at all. But here's another thing we have to keep in mind. This is a very, very low time frame accumulation model. Very, very low time frame. So you can't anticipate this to take you up to 100K. It doesn't work that way. This accumulation, if you break above it, will hit its objective, which is directly above. Where's its objective? objective, this supply right here. So this is already complete. Like the objective of these lows is complete from an order flow standpoint. Now, does that mean it's not going, could this continue higher and higher and higher? Yes, it definitely could, right? It certainly could. So we have 10-minute, there's two 10-minute blocks right here that I'm watching. I'm watching this high. I'm watching this low, right? These are my immediate lows and highs that I'm watching because that's your main structure on the top down, right? This is what you got. You could argue, no, this is the structure point here, but I'm going with the bottom of the actual accumulation leg. I don't really care about this break right here, to be honest, guys. Even though order flow is telling me and market structure is telling me higher high, higher low, higher high, it is, but we're almost at the damn high now. So what good does that do me? Not really much, right? So we could easily SFP into here and then come all the way back. So I'm watching for shorts right here. Definitely watching for shorts right here. If we get back above those two 10-minute blocks, I think the dump is over. Personally, I think it's over. I think if we get above those blocks and we hold above them, and we do something like this, especially if you backtest them, I think we're coming up to here. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't. I really don't know why they would do this. This to me, doesn't make sense. And it could happen. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. I think what makes more sense is this, like get a little rejection off that zone, push back for a higher low either here or maybe a little bit lower if there's an order block being created right here. And that's your next higher low for the next higher high past these highs. And I still am leaning towards 75K. 75, 76K, I've been talking about it for a while. I don't think I'm the only one talking about it. That makes way more sense for me to be the bigger range high. So if I go to the 1 hour, I think, well, it's not that I think, I know that this is my range low so far, or sorry, this is my range low so far at 60,000. This is my technical range high, but we're hovering in the upper section, which means we're more likely to either A, continue this way, or B, deviate this way and come back in. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to start targeting this low right now based on price hovering in the premium section of the range, because this is also its own range. Do you know what I mean? This is its own range. And what did we just do? We formed a high, we formed a low, we're rotating back up towards the high again. So I don't know. I think this is the most logical target, and I could be wrong. Sometimes, you know, things happen. You don't get them right all the time. But based on my knowledge of how ranges work, again, you get above this 10-minute order block. I personally think the objective is going to be at least here, but probably up to here. And I don't think it's going to be all at once. It could be. I just don't think it's going to be. I think more likely it would take a few days, right? At least a few days. Personally, I'd be damn surprised if we got past that 12-hour order block, guys. I would be actually very, very, very surprised if we got past it. Crazy that my computer has perfect audio and video. Yeah, they might push it during... Bro, oh my gosh. Broette. I don't even, what's female for bro? I don't even know. Dudette. Sis. Is sis, yeah. Why didn't I know that? It's so stupid of a question. Sis, Crypto Queen, sis, I think you're onto something because that's what they've been doing lately. If we turn on the indicator, these kill zone indicator where we see all the London sessions, if it wants to load... Oh, maybe it doesn't want to work today. Okay, give me a break. There we go. Yeah, if we look at what they've done lately, I know it's not like huge moves, right? But it does kind of look big. You know, when you're on lower time frames, they look like big moves. But London has been moving it, even when, like, this is Saturday. Look at the big move they did Saturday. And look at this big push up. They've been buying and buying. I mean, they had a few sells, sure, but a lot of their moves have been, you know, more buys than sells lately, and they've been pushing. I'm used to London doing this, bro. And sis. Bro and sis, I'm used to this, bro and sis, you know? Range. Boring, boring, boring range, nothing happening. New York does something. Or they actually pop it this way or pop it that way. Or they do both, right? I'm not really used to this whole, you know, London on cocaine thing, to be honest. I think they got like a bad batch or something over there because they are like, they're rocking out lately, bro. They're rocking out. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. I'm guessing London's probably open tomorrow. I know New York's not, so we might get an interesting move here. I'm kind of focusing my attention on longs, but I also want a short scalp. right? I do want a short scalp. Like if I see, I don't want to trade right here though. I'll be honest, guys. I don't really feel the need to take a trade right now, and I could be missing out because we are forming a range right on top of VWAP. And generally speaking, if an open and run is going to occur, this is usually how they begin. You kind of form a range on top of VWAP, and then you reclaim it, and you either break above and get it back to kind of like an orb strategy in a way. You break above, you back test, you expect higher. You break below, you back test, you expect lower. But here's the thing. This is a different circumstance because you can't really use that logic here. I wouldn't, because you have supply here and demand right here. You're sandwiched in between inside of a range right now. So it's not really the greatest tactic in the world. Like if you're going to try along and you like what you see and it's like doing something like that, maybe you hit this 2-minute order block right here, you try along in the VWAP reclaim, very tight stop loss. You could try it. It's risky, but you could try it. But just be prepared to close it out either on an SFP of this high and this high, or up in the supply zone right here. Just de-risk ASAP. I've already de-risked my ETH long. I'm gonna hold it though. Like I'm just gonna either hold it to break even on what's left because it's not a big trade for me. I'll hold it or it'll be a runner kind of thing. Whatever. I'll add to it later on. Not I can always average up on my trades, right? Or average down. So I'm probably gonna do that. So yeah, I'm basically watching for shorts right here. If we get a rotation down and if we do this, even though it's not really my favorite idea, if we can sweep out these highs like that and not even like if we miss this supply zone and we sweep these local highs, we lose VWAP again, and I see it back testing VWAP and rejecting, I may scale into a short right here, but I'm watching this low very, very, very closely. In fact, I'd almost rather lose the low and then do something like this again before getting into a short. This is my favorite idea. Lose the low, back test in, or just back test against the low, and then reject again. I would short that, but I wouldn't target all the way down to here. I would target right here, these lows right here. So what I'm also thinking, if they do not pull off an open and run tonight, and they leave the market where it is until either London moves it or we move tomorrow or the next day, then I suspect we're just going to be stuck in a range here. And that range can still expand. So here's your new range. Let me turn everything off. So here's your new range right now. I would draw it just like that. And I would have alerts right here on the high. I'd have alerts on the low. Oops. Oopsie daisy. And I'd actually have one right here too. I would have one on this low, just a little bit ahead of time so I could make sure I'm ready to take a trade. I'd have an alert above this supply. I'd have one below this demand. Because again, if you start losing 67.5 for me without looking at volume and everything else, just from an order block, supply and demand based perspective, for me, I don't see why you wouldn't come back to here at least. And that's kind of far away. I think there's a 6-hour block there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a 6-hour OB right here. That would be my next main go-to zone. And if you lose that zone, I don't know, man. I don't think that's a great look. If you lose that zone, I highly doubt you're going to put like an equal low in. I think if you lose 65.8, we're probably coming down to $63,000. The chances of this SFPing Thursday's low and then all the way back up again, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even look like an accumulation anymore. I wouldn't call that one, this two, and this three, because you already broke structure up from that accumulation. So why would it have to take the low again? That doesn't make sense. Like this doesn't really exist as a Wyckoff model, right? So can it happen? Sure, anything can happen, but does it make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. So if I see a partial SFP here, I'm expecting it just to be a slight reaction for a lower low, and we're going to either come to 63,000 or 62,250. Both of those are my main key swing long zones. 63 even, and then you can see the number on the right. So 62,250 down to 61.8. And if you don't get a reaction there, well, then you know the answer. We're coming right for the low. We're coming all the way down to this low at $60,000, which I'd be surprised, bro. I'd be surprised if they let it go this quickly. Because last time that we formed a big range where we had the PO3, which is way up here now. I don't know why that's in gray, but let's delete that. This guy right here, they didn't let it come back, right? And when they let it come back finally, it was way later, right? Way later, months later. Let me measure it real quick. 71 days, right? 71 days later. So I'm kind of anticipating like that we're doing if we come back for that lower zone, I'm kind of picturing that 60K low is right here. We had our push up, we had our rejection down, and we come close to it, putting in a higher low, and then we come up towards 75K. And I'm kind of picturing these levels here as 75K in my mind, right? I'm picturing this fractal, I'm picturing it all over again down here. I'm not expecting it to be candle for candle though, right? Don't get the wrong idea. I guarantee you it's not going to look anything close to it by the time we're done. But the same idea is what I'm looking at overall. Now, there is, that bigger fractal that I was looking at before, everybody and their grandma found out about it and they're posting about it on Twitter and stuff like that. I was looking at it for a while. I haven't really been looking at it as closely lately, but I still think the same narrative. I still think this is going to happen. I think we already broke down from this one. We spent all December and all of January in this one, basically. And now we're in this guy right here since February, right? And we already had our sell-off wick. Here's your 60K mitigation. We'll call this 60K. You had your 60K mitigation, and I think we just haven't found this yet. And I think that's going to be 75K, 75 to 76, right? That's what I think. I think our range high is going to take us up to there. It's going to hit the 12-hour block, and then it's going to shoot down again to the next low in the 40s, at least the 40s. And that's what I'm thinking anyway. We'll see. It makes the most sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Now, what I do want to check, though, very quickly is I want to actually go in here, and I want to look at how did that low get put in? Because I haven't taken the time to do this yet. I've been kind of saving myself to do this on a stream. What does the low look like, and how, does it look anything like our current one? I'm going to say not really, because our current one was a little bit more aggressive. But let's just take a bar replay over, and we're going to copy and paste some of this over. Let's do this. Let's just take it over like from here over to here. I guess it's not going to let me do it the way I thought. So that's okay. We'll just zoom out and we'll just take it over like this. Yeah. I don't like holding trades. You know that, Raven. But if it's a juicy one, I will, bro. I will, yeah, for sure. But I'll take it on Hyperliquid. I'm not going to take it on KSX. Any kind of swing trades that I take that are bigger, I'm not taking them on petty exchanges, right? Because I can't go on Bybit or Binance anymore, where I would pick those in a heartbeat. But, I mean, this kind of does look similar, bro. I don't know. It kind of does. I never did the overlay yet. This is my first time doing it. But, I mean, I see the same thing so far. Again, it's not candle for candle. But if I just kind of let me try to overlay it very quickly. If I kind of try to line it up a little bit, let's try a little bit better. Kind of it's not going to be perfect here. Hold on. Something like that. Kind of like that in a way. Yeah. Actually, from a time-based perspective, it's pretty close too. It's just not identical. So this is and it could be funny. What this is telling me, again, don't expect this to be the low here, the high right here. This is literally just me moving a fractal around, right? So if I don't want to overlay it like this anymore. I want to take it up like this now that we kind of did the overlay. Whoa, what did I just do? I accidentally just unplugged my monitor, so sorry about that. I think I might have just screwed up.
You're good.
That was weird, bro. What the heck? That was weird. Okay. Yeah. So what I kind of figure is this could be our 60K low, 60K low. This high right here is this high. You have a sweep. Here's your sweep. You got the V shape in between. Here's your V shape return in between. Slow grind down, slow grind down. Here's your slow grind down. The additional break up. Here's this section right here. So here is here. And then you have this part going on right now. And this is where there's a little bit of a deviation, right? Because you break higher. But again, it's not going to be picture perfect. I'm just, the overall narrative of what happened back then. Remember, if we don't take this low, I'm going to say it very clearly. If we do not take this low at $60,000 in the next 3 months, 2 months, in the next 2 months, if we don't take $60,000 and we're doing this kind of thing again, we're forming an internal range up here in the higher end of the range, and we keep seeing higher lows being created, liquidity this way and then liquidity this way, kind of like what happened here, right? So it built liquidity downwards for a sweep up, and then you had a curve this way, the whole thing is curved like that. If we do the same kind of formation again with return to zones on both sides, this fractal is 100% continuing. 100%. Now remember, for some reason, the fractal from the $69,000 top of 21 down to $15,000 has been playing out 35% faster this year. 35% faster. So it's changed things a little bit. Definitely has changed things. That's why I said you can't look at it candle for candle, but it can kind of give you, a good guideline of what to expect overall if the narrative remains in check. Right? So we could hit 75K by tomorrow and this whole section of the fractal's gone. I've seen that happen already with the fractal up at 85, 90K. So, just keep that in mind, right? But I do believe, again, if we don't take this low in the next couple of months, this is going to happen. You're going to distribute again up here. It's going to be another PO3, and it's going to be this all over again. And then you're going to have this to follow it. You're going to have this as your result. 100%. This is going to be the result right here. And it's going to break down way further than people like it to break down. That's exactly what's going to happen if we don't take it this low soon. If you're bullish and you want this to be the low range, 60K to 50, 60 to 70, you want that to be the low for the next all-time high. Well, then guess what? You want this low to go ASAP, and you want this demand to get tested at 57K. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing in this world that's going to convince me anything else. Like, I just know. I know, because I've traded this a million times. I know how this stuff works, right? There's no guessing it. Just like when we broke back in that range up at 90K, I told you guys, I was like, no, this is it. Like, been talking about it for months, but it finally came to fruition. It was nice to see because we were screaming, run for the hills for a while. I don't know how many people took it seriously, but it played out nicely. So we actually do have that kind of squeezing curve this way already, but it's playing it way faster again. So I don't know if we're going to look at it that way yet. We'll see. I'm just going to play it level for level. I don't care about the fractal. I'm using that as an overall narrative to basically tell me that we're probably going to form a manipulation range up in here between 72.2 and 77K. I can almost guarantee you, if things remain the way they are, and we do not take out $60,000, and we start doing this up here, and you start coming back under 72.2, which is your current range high right here, you're going to come down hard. It's not going to be a free fall, but it could be. It could be a free fall. What am I saying? It definitely could be a free fall. That ain't bullish, right? That's like your last chance to get out kind of thing before the next major leg down. So I'll be selling the rest of my spot up there if I see it. All right, going back to what we have now. I'm not really interested in trading this at the moment. To be honest, I don't really think I like trading this right now. I might just wait till tomorrow. Even though New York's not open tomorrow, I might just wait till tomorrow unless we hit these zones. If we hit these zones, obviously I'm going to take the trade if I see it. I'm not going to be stupid though. Like, I'm not going to just take the short just because you react off, SFPing this high or hitting a supply zone like this. The first reaction coming out of the supply zone is not a short trade. There's no way to get in this. If I see no way to get in here, I have to rim see it down. If I see no way to get in along here, I have to rim see it up. If we come down like this, and I have to wait for this high to break on all time frames, well, guess what? I have to wait for this high to break on all time frames, and then I'll get in afterwards. I'm not going to market the break right here and cover all the way down here. You can. I'm not. I'll follow it up. So we come down. Maybe we don't come down right away. Maybe we do this, and then we come up and break structure again. Or maybe I get involved here with a stop here instead. Or I wait for a retracement. I try to refine the retracement. I get in here and I put my stop here. There's so many different ways to get in. You cannot forecast that in advance. There's no way to, because you don't know how structure is going to behave coming into that zone that you're looking at, right? We cannot forecast that, guys. No way. What else do I want to talk about here? I'm kind of just really watching Bitcoin because I'm already in an ETH long. I told you guys my ETH levels anyway. If you go to my ETH channel in the VIP section, there is one zone below us on ETH that I'm watching. And if that doesn't hold, I'm expecting the range low to go. When I say range low, I'm talking about the low from, I think, Thursday. Let me just check it right quick. Yeah, Thursday's low. Either ETH is going to take Thursday's low, or it's going to hold where we are now, or that demand wick zone, the lick wick zone. It has to be one of the three for me. right? There's nothing really else left to support it. Now, if we take the range low from Thursday on ETH, but we don't do it on Bitcoin, which is likely, actually, very, very likely, you could have a bullish SMT there, right? A bullish divergence between both assets. So Bitcoin's range would look like this, basically, where it came up and it came down, let's say halfway. This is Bitcoin on the top, and ETH is down here, and ETH does this, breaks up, and then comes all the way back down and starting to push up again. Well, then between here and then between here and here, I mean, you have a divergence, right? That's a very, very nice absorption div. Oftentimes, if you have a big one like that, I find in a range-bound environment where the range is at a very, very pivotal location, like where we have now, what we have now, Bitcoin hitting $65,000 and all. I believe that's like a gig along. If any confirmation on ETH here, I would gig along. Like that's a no-brainer long for me. In fact, Bitcoin would be as well, but ETH would be the better long for me here, I feel. So I'll be mostly focused on ETH in the event we do take out that Thursday's low. But, you know, at the moment, we still have another zone below us. Again, check my ETH channel if you want to see that chart. What else do I have? What else do I have? I guess we can look at a couple of things from a volume standpoint. I'm not as good as Spartan with his nodes and everything. I'll say that. I don't know if he has time to talk business with nodes, but my trading view is glitched out, bro. It's driving me crazy. If we do rotate down again, we have the range value area low at 66.9. I mean, it is kind of like at the tippy top of that 6-hour OB, and it could deviate it again, sure. I just don't think that's the most bullish thing. I think if we start messing around down here, especially if you start closing under this into the order block, I think we might push out a little bit and then find a rejection somewhere to take out this low again. That's what I think, down to here. I think that's the most likely scenario, to be honest, guys. I really do. There's more ways to draw in. Obviously, there's more ways to draw in ranges and fixed ranges and what have you. You can draw local ones. You can draw like the range, technically the newer range from within the bigger range. So here's another range right here. You can say, well, this is now a range, Phoenix. This is your low. This is your high. And I wouldn't disagree. I agree 100% because you had your 50% mitigation here. So you could technically draw your fixed range like that as well. Again, my apparently trading view sucks, my nuts. So I have to keep using that template. But there's not much down there. Like if you look at the volume, most of the volume is right here. There's one big spike here. This is all kind of level. This is all kind of level. So again, like I think there's not much here. Like there's really not much here. You kind of have to hold this breaker for me to feel quite bullish on Bitcoin. At the very least, I would say hold this 10-minute order block. I don't really want to lose that 10-minute OB. Because if so, it could shoot right through all, in my opinion, it could easily shoot through all that. Now you could pull the volume pull back further and you could say, well, I don't really want to draw that as my range because it's kind of weird looking. I'm going to draw this as the range. I'm going to take the high from last Sunday, to the low of last Thursday. I'm going to draw it just like that. Make it a little thicker so you guys can see it. The darker lines is the range points. I'm going to extend this to the right, and I'm going to pull this back to the range high over here. Not to this high, to the original high, which was here. And now this is a little bit different because you do have a little bit of a spike in volume right here. It's not a huge spike, but there's a spike there. And that's actually pretty much on par with the value area low that we drew in over here. Look. Apparently that changed on me. Okay. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. Why did that change again? Oh yeah, because I had it. I think I took it back a little bit further. No, I was wrong. It didn't match up with the value area low. Okay, interesting. I thought it did. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a higher volume node of some kind in here. It's just, it's in a wick. It's just in this wick right here. Could you draw it in? Sure, you could draw it in. I'll be honest, I'm not too worried about it right now. It may match something else, like maybe you have your golden pocket guys in there. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you kind of do. Kind of. Not quite spot on, but it's in the general vicinity of that that spike here. You could definitely watch it. but I don't think it's like a make or break kind of spike for me. Because at that point, you lose your Val. Oh, Valerie's gone. She's put to sleep at that point. Yeah, I think if anything, you might just back test supply and make a lower low there. All right, you might get something off it. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's like a very, very likely thing. That would fill the CME gap. Where is the CME gap right now? My computer's like having a hard time for some reason with the stream. No idea why. So I'm not going to switch charts right now because I feel like if I do, it's going to glitch out because this happened to me earlier with TradingView. But if you want to tell us where the CME gap is, I will definitely entertain it. Above when you mentioned the manipulation of the retail, yeah, is that? Oh, you mean the gaps up higher or the one below? Way up here at like 75 ish, 78K. Oh yeah, yeah, that would be great. But I think there's another CME gap, is there not? In like the 80s, or am I wrong? I thought there was one up in the 80s, but maybe I could be mistaken. Maybe we did fill that. I remember talking about one a couple weeks ago, but I can't recall if it's still there. I mean, some of them remain anyway until the next bull market, and you come back for them later, just like you leave some bullish ones or bearish ones rather that you come back for later as well. I'm sure there's some below us. They don't always get filled. You know, most do, but they don't always get filled right away. But yeah, I do believe we're going to fill that one. If it's in this general vicinity, up to like 76, 77, sorry, 75 to 77, I think we are going to hit that. I'm pretty convinced that we're going to do that. Now, I just don't know when it's going to happen, right? It could take ages to happen. So this fixed range pull that I just had, by the way, is my more focused one, not this one. That one sucks. This one. From the high at February 6th over. Now, some people may say, no, I don't like that. I want to actually include the low. And you can do that. It doesn't really change your answer by much. See, the thing is, both are valid ranges. They're both valid. If you want to draw this one in and make your life easier, be my guest, right? You could do both even. Your POC is a little different, not by much. Or is it your value area low that might have been a little different? Yeah, sorry, it's a value area lows that change a little bit. You can kind of think of this more like a value area low range, right? That's what I'll do sometimes. I'll draw them as a range of price. If I have, you see how there's a very, very little difference on the value area highs here? There's a little difference right here on the value area highs. But on the lows, there's a bigger difference, right? So I'd be more inclined to kind of like treat that one as a range, not really that one. That's kind of to the dollar right now. And the POCs are the same. Yeah, if we get above these POCs, it doesn't matter. You still have to get above the 10-minute order blocks. So that my kid's he's interrupting me right now. I'm trying to get my wife to get him. Hold on, guys. I got to mute you for a second. Days, bro. Oh, my days. He unlocked my door just to laugh at me, and then he ran away. So he's just being funny. We have two 10-minute order blocks here, as I mentioned. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me if we get above that POC, because that doesn't mean this to me. Like, you still have to get past this supply. Even though it's a point of control in range theory, range value area theory, normally would suggest if you lose one, you go to the next one. You lose that one, you go to the next one. No, that's not all, let's be real. Does it always happen? No, not even close. That's why, you can't just trade value area theory. It just doesn't work on its own. If you're ignoring supply and demand, you're ignoring structure, you're ignoring the inner contents of the range as a whole, you're going to have problems, right? You're going to have problems trading that theory. Now, many people are probably shorting this right now because they see that and they're like, oh, we're at the POC. This is a short. And it could be a short. But is it a good enough short is the question. For me, nah, not when it has that many taps on it anyway. No, not really. Again, I'd rather this. Like, if I had my way, this is what I'd want. My favorite scenario is come down, sweep that low. This is not the real accumulation. This is more or less just tap one. We form our tap two like that into the order block, into the 10-minute overlapping block with the breaker. Maybe we come down one more time, tap into the value area low of that range, either produce a model one like that, and this sends us off, or we come up, we do something like this, where we get a tap three. I think it might be a higher up tap three because of where we are relative to the value area. if I mean, no one really likes the higher up ones. Let's be real, right? From a risk reward standpoint, nobody likes that. Unfortunately, I think that's probably how they will play it. But maybe we get lucky and we get this, right? We just get a solid three, comes into an OB, kind of like what happened in here in a lower time frame. You cover the OB on your stop loss, and you have yourself a swing long potentially. If it actually breaks up past the POC and actually breaks up past this OB on the top here. My original plan, like when I was thinking of it mentally, I was kind of hoping they were going to just take this damn high, give us a short down into those longs, right? And that was my dream scenario. Give me the short, take it down for the long. I'll long tap two, and I'll look to long and tap three, and then we'll be in a swing long. That's exactly what I think. If we accumulate here, I think it's a swing long. I don't think when I say swing long, I mean minimum target 71K, very minimum, but ideal target 75K. Right, this could be a nice juicy swing long that I can just hold for days or week, or we can hold for days or weeks. But we don't know yet, right? If we start losing the zone, it's a different story. At that point, this can't be an accumulation. If we start closing below this gray box here, this 10-minute OB, which ends at 67.6, that's no good. That means that this is not an accumulation. If it's only a wick, no big deal. This is one, this is two. Tap one, tap two. But close, no bueno. Right? That is not a one. That is not a two. This is a range break. And then we have to wait for a new range to form. Right? And we have to wait for a brand new accumulation. That sucks. No one wants that. Let's be real. Why do we want that? We don't want that because that means we have to wait longer to get into a good high probability trade. I'd rather just do that. It's easy. I like easy. Do you like easy? I like easy. I want easy trades. You know, give me the easy money. I don't want to work my ass off to make money. I want it to be simple and concise. If we go down more, it would leave a gap at 69.8, and then we could clean it up from the giga long zone, unless we break the low. Oh, it opens Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's right. It opens Tuesday. Oh, so are they opened? I thought they opened on Sundays too. Or don't they? Or no? I don't follow CME, but I thought they did for some reason. But maybe they don't now because there's a holiday. I don't know. I could be totally mistaken, by the way. But I thought there was a few hours where they opened. Do they not? Yeah, they do open today. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. But I guess they wouldn't be tomorrow then for the holiday. So they kind of like we could gap again tomorrow essentially, right? Oh, they close around noon tomorrow. So yeah, we could fill some gaps even between now and then produce new gaps from noon tomorrow onto the next day. By the way, Crypto Queen, do you know if the stock market NYSE is open tomorrow as well? No, okay. It's fully closed. I wasn't sure if they had a half day or like a partial day because I thought they'd done that before one time years ago. Um, oh, something else I want to point out: this 10-minute order block. The reason why I'm not putting more emphasis on it as two 10-minute blocks. I mean, it's pretty much a 15. I'll be honest, guys. You can just, I don't know why I put 2 times 10. It looks better that way. Like, it really does. It looks better to draw it out that way, but it really is just a 15 if you just draw the wick in here. But to each their own. I don't care what you label. You could call that the dinosaur block. I don't care, right? I don't care. But the reason why I like it is because it's a flip zone. So this was demand that flipped into supply. So if we go to a lower time frame, look what happened. Well, look at the inner contents of that range. What did price do? Price came into demand. It tried to push out, and then it got smashed right through. So kind of think of it like a breaker block. I mean, it kind of is a breaker block, but you wouldn't really extend the blue box over this way. And I mean, sure, it worked right here, just coincidentally, but that's not really the way I'm drawing it in. I want to see this demand caused this supply to create itself, right? Which is way stronger of a zone than just a traditional demand or supply zone. So in theory, if we can flip the flip zone, and I know that sounds kind of funny to say, but if we can flip the flip zone, oftentimes that's really, really bullish or really, really bearish. So we get above, that's why I said we get above this thing and we hold it immediately after, especially if you see another accumulation on a lower time frame existing in here, that's a giga long, 100%. That's a giga long. I'd throw my stop to break even on that high right away, and then I would just let it run. Right to this, at least to here, 100% at least to here, 71K. I'm a little surprised with the movie that we had last night. Actually, I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to really do active trading because we had a crazy stuff going on yesterday. There was like a drug bust. There was shooting. It was crazy. It took my wife out for a reservation and Valentine's Day reservation. And like I don't live in places with guns usually. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that kind of stuff happen here. And I guess what had happened. We were waiting so long to get in. It was just a really fucked up day. I'll be honest, but we've waited so long to get in. They screwed up our reservation. They tried to make it right, and they're making it right. And then just as we were about to get our food, there was like a like a shootout at a restaurant, which is crazy. Not in the restaurant, outside of it. And then we heard there was like a drug bust, and then we were stuck at the restaurant for a couple of hours, not eating. Right, so we were pretty flustered at that point. My wife just wanted to go home. And when we went home, we were on the way home, and my wife was like, "Why don't we just like get takeout somewhere?" Then I'm like, "Okay, sure. We'll call another restaurant on the way home." Called a different restaurant. They messed around with our order. Took us like an hour to get our food, and we were just like, "We just got to go home. We just got to get back home." So picked the food up, started driving home. 10 minutes from home at this point. Halfway there, I see red and blue lights, and I'm like, "Here we go. Now what?" And the cops were like, "You can't pass. You, sir, shall not pass." And I'm like, "What do you mean, bro? I can't get home? Like, this is the only way in. Like, I live in the middle of nowhere. This is the only way in to my home. I have to get home." And they would not let us in. So we were waiting for like 3 or 4 hours to get by. Apparently, there was like another, like, I guess just by chance, it was like a coordinated kind of like drug bust thing. And there was people that like lived next to me that I didn't even know were into that stuff. It's crazy, actually. They look like normal people. Like they have a nice house. We thought they were normal people, but I guess not. It was crazy. So I thought I'd tell you guys that crazy story. That happened to me. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. So we kind of like did our Valentine's Day stuff today because of that. Bro, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Like it's actually like, did it really happen kind of thing? Like it's one of those kind of stories, but it did. It really happened. I think I was more angry. I don't even care about the rest. I think I was more angry that like it was one after another. Do you know what I mean? We're after getting stuck for hours at the restaurant, not getting our food. At that point, we're both cranky, just wanting to go home. To finally get our food from a different restaurant, and then getting told that you can't move your vehicle for like 3 or 4 hours and you can't go home. Oh my days. That was the tipping point for me. I know. How dare they hold up my food for drugs? Stupid drug dealers, man. Send them to prison, bro. Send them to prison. That's all I gotta say. Actually, I can't believe that guy. That I don't know him personally. Like he was newer to the area, but he did not look like. They have a nice house. Like it's actually like a multi-million-dollar home. I couldn't believe that they were into that kind of stuff. But I guess now I know where they. Now I know how they bought it. Bro, I'm telling you, I was really surprised. I was really genuinely shocked. But yeah, I guess you never really know who's into that kind of stuff. Um, So, little update on Bitcoin because we did break down from that range. Let me turn everything back on. You see how we had this range here? We did break down from it. And I told you guys that if we broke down, you could try a short trade. I don't know if anybody actually did. I didn't because I was too busy talking like a maniac. Um, I suck at trading and streaming at the same time, apparently. So I always miss my own stuff. But this would have been my entry right here. That exact thing would have been my entry. And I would already have my stop because we already tagged my entry once here. I would have already had my stop to break even. So this is where I'd say, okay, now my new stop is going to be E. I don't think I'd take a partial on that. It would just be a break even trade or nothing, or we're going lower. But I would be looking at this low now. And I would say, okay, that low's more than likely going to get touched if we continue this downwards structure. We don't flip up here. But what we could also do is this: come up higher, stop me out at break even in theory, if it was a valid trade, and smoke that 2 minute OB right here. See that 2 minute order block right here? We could also do this. Do a fake out above this high and just continue 2 minute structure instead of one. Because your 2 minutes different than your one here. You see how it's like lower low, lower high, lower low? But on the one, you have another lower low, lower high. Or sorry, lower high, lower low. So we could easily do this as well. So if you didn't get into a short, you have another opportunity right here. If we come back up, why don't you watch this 2 minute block right here? Let's check to see if it's a 3. Is it a 3? No. 5? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a 5. I'd rather it hit the 2 than the 5, but you could draw both in. Kind of like that. To be honest, I don't really like that one though. I kind of like it better in the 2 because I feel like the 5 is just a little bit too close. For some reason, I don't like that so much. No, it's not my favorite. So if we come up like this, yeah, I'm going to take those 2 2-minute candles instead. I'll do it like that. Never mind the 5. I'm going to draw it like this. So if we actually do come back up and you did take the short, you're probably going to get broke even. Yeah, that's fair game. Or you could leave your stop here and hope for the best. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just break even and take a new trade. If we do this on lower time frame structure, I'd take another short, and this would be my first TP. And then I would look to close the VWAP here. You see how you have that VWAP smack where it goes up like this? Get that L shape, that hockey stick looking thing. Yeah, right here is where I'd target as a TP as well. Because we could just sweep this low here and do that, right? Internally speaking. And because Asia might just range now. They might not even do an open and run. It may just be an open and range. I think the neighbors think I'm selling dope, J. Cole. Bro, I know, life sentence, obstruction of food. Bro, I'm telling you, like we were like, should we eat before we go out? And my wife was like, no, you'll ruin your appetite, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that was a bad idea. We should have eaten before we left. I was so cranky, bro. When that happened, I was like, I was steaming from the ears. And the cop was being an arsehole too. He wasn't even nice about the fact. I was like, bro, I just told my story. I was like, can you just listen? I asked him, I was like, can you just listen to me? But there was none near. I was stuck in traffic. Like there was people behind me and in front of me, and he wouldn't let anybody turn around. I'm telling you, he held us hostage there. The cop. Yeah,
It's for your safety.
I mean, bro, I was so mad. He thought he was like Mighty Cop too. This guy thought he was Mighty Cop, like the best of the best.
Yeah, Dudley,
You know,
right?
he was like,
Dudley do.
oh yeah, he 100% thought he was just like that, bro. And he was like cursing at me. He's like, yeah, he dropped a few MFers on me, kind of thing. I'm like, what's your deal? Like, I just want to get home. What's your deal, bro? Like, are you like crazy? You know, he's like, if you say I can't even. I'm not going to disclose anymore because I'll get myself in trouble. But yeah, I wasn't too pleased with him. We'll put it that way. Yeah, if we end up coming up here, I'm going to try a short. I'm going to try a short here. But I mean, if it goes higher than that, you have your VWAP. You could SFP this high into VWAP, which is also, a possibility. I don't really like that idea very much, but it is possible that we do that. Let me check. Let me check this. Yeah, I like the anchor VWAPs better than VWAP here. Definitely, because that's right in the 2-minute block. I really like that 2-minute block here. I hope it hits it. I hope it hits it because I want to take a scalp. Just an easy scalp. Now, something to consider is in order to hit this 2-minute block, chances are you're going to break this 1-minute structure. So if I go to the 1, oh, I did it again. What's wrong with me tonight? Oh my god, man! What the fuck? Okay, hold on. It's because of the way that I have things set up is very stupid right now. But I'll try to not do it again. If we come up, you're going to lose this 1 minute. Okay, they're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. Okay, lower low, lower high, lower low. If this closes up here in the 30-second, you're going to have a higher high. So that can be problematic, but 2-minute structure doesn't officially flip. What you could do in a situation like that is you could say to yourself, well, the only way that I'm going to take the trade is if I see more structure develop up here and that structure flips. I'll be honest, I don't think you're going to get that lucky with it. Usually you don't get that lucky with it. You kind of have to pull the trigger on it, right? Your 2 minutes more important than your 1, right? But if this is 2-minute structure, it has a higher likelihood of holding versus a 1-minute break in the middle of nowhere. This is in the middle of nowhere for me, right? Now, could it still hold? Yeah, I mean, sure, it could still hold. But I mean, at the very least, you're going to have some kind of structure. You can go to the 30 or the 15-second, and you're going to find structure. See, but again, I'm hoping it goes a little bit higher here. To be honest, I want it to go a little bit higher. I hope they keep pushing it up because I don't want it to really break down immediately right now. But It could end up being a short here very soon. There's also a few candles that have no wick on the stick, I think. On the 3 minute, there's none. On the 2, there's one right here. There's barely a wick on that stick. On the 1, I've seen a few of them. There's one here. There's one here. There's 2 of them actually, 3 of them actually, 1, 2, and 3. So there are reasons, to retrace at least half of this move. So we'll have to see how it happens. But for now, it's pretty much all that I'm looking at, right? I'm kind of my main, again, I can't emphasize this enough. My main ideas right now, if I turn all this junk off, I don't even need to see the POC. I don't even need to see the bigger range EQ, right? I just want this range. This range in front of me is the only one I care about because this is the one I'm making money on in the now, not 10 hours from now. Hopefully not 10 hours from now. So is my ooh, that's a good question. Is it set to weekly? It should have reset though, yeah? It is on weekly, but I'm surprised that wouldn't have. That should have reset though, right? Good catch, because I forgot that I was looking at the weekly earlier. I was doing that. Oh yeah, interesting. You see that? So you have a weekly VWAP fill below you, right here, previous week VWAP close, and then your daily is above you. Good eyes, Rockridge. Good eyes, because I would have forgot to change that actually. It wouldn't have mattered for Sunday anyway. Sunday's candle is the same, but that would have screwed me up for sure the next day. Thanks for telling me that. Yeah, there is. There is a weekly VWAPs. There's a close below us and above us, which is interesting. So what I usually do is I have two VWAP indicators and I copy and paste them, and I'll put one on weekly with a different color. Sometimes I'll just do I don't know, blue or even like this color right here, just to see where they are relative to one another. And I'll turn the weekly off. Like I don't leave the weekly on very often, right? Um, you can kind of see how they become one, right? Well, they're going to be one because Sunday is your weekly candle close or is the weekly candle open. So yeah, you just have different closes. That's all. Like throughout the week, they change. Like Tuesday's candle, they'll be different. After Monday night, Monday Asia, 24 hours from now, they'll be a little different. Not a lot different, but they'll be a little different. That's where the differences begin. But as of now, I'm just going to leave that on the side, right? I don't really want it open that way right now, so I'll leave it. I'll just minimize or close that one for now. But good eye, though. I appreciate you telling me that because I didn't even catch on. So back to what I was trying to say before I got distracted. I'm not blaming you for the distraction. That's me. I would love this, and I would love this. Right, those are my favorite zones. This stuff in between, yeah, sure, you can make money on it. I'm not denying that you can't, but don't forget you're trading at the equilibrium of your range, right? It's not really the greatest place to trade from. From a probability standpoint, this is like the no-no zone. I would only suggest taking these scalp ideas that I mentioned from like here, the possible short here, if you're up on the day already, or if you're able to like very easily lose a 0.5% or 1%, right? Because you're in a risky spot. I can afford to lose it, so I'm willing to take a gamble on it if I see what I want to see here. But I'm also going to de-risk it very, very, very quickly. The better trades are going to be when we start going up here or down here, which it might be both. It might only be one of the two, right? Maybe we don't come back to the low and we start pushing up here. Okay. And maybe you don't even reject here. And instead you flip the zone. Okay, well then it's not a short, it's a long. You have to wait for that long, right? Don't long the breakup. Wait for a back test or rim see it up. But at that point, your brain should be wired to think swing long, right? Because you're above the most important supply that we have in the whole range, in my opinion. Up until 75K, that is my most important supply zone. It's literally right above us. It's literally right there, right above us. And then we just have the POC with it, which is even better. Like that your range high is pretty much the POC of the bigger range. So 69.1 or so is the POC. So you get above the POC, you then test supply, you break both at the same time. What's stopping you from all the way from coming all the way back up to 70, 71, 72K? Nothing is stopping you, right? You have some stopping in between, maybe, because you have maybe an hour block or a 15-minute block or a 30-minute block or the value area high. Yeah, but that's not going to stop price fully, right? That's not like a complete reversal to 60K kind of supply or area of price. No, No. The order flow objective past 69.6, in my opinion, is at least the range high. Which again, I keep saying 71, 72K, but don't quote me on it. I might be wrong. Let's see. 72K. It is 72K. This is our range high, the bigger range high. Yeah, you get above here. I don't know why we wouldn't go up there. Honestly, again, I don't expect it to be overnight. Now this is breaking on me. Man, I'm telling you, Trading View is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Did you see that? Like, somebody just got to make a competitor. I will listen. If somebody makes a competitor to Trading View, I will promote it for you. I know I'm not huge, but I will promote it for you because like this shit sucks, bro. It sucks. Yeah, that's kind of all I'm gonna look at right now. I think for the night, I'm just gonna play it patient, and if I see something great, well, awesome. But if not, then I'm not gonna force a trade. Do we have anything that could stop us from taking that low? I wonder. Let me just check again. There is something. I hope it doesn't happen. I feel like I have to tell you guys to draw this in because I've seen this crap before, and sometimes it will hold. Sometimes ETH will take the low and Bitcoin won't, or vice versa. It's been happening a lot lately. In the event that you see a good reaction off of this 2-minute order block right here that was left at 1502 UTC minus 5. All right, there's only one block there. There's only one 2-minute candle that hasn't been hit. If for some reason we hold that zone and you're seeing structure flip out of it, it's worth a long. I would say that's worth a long attempt for sure. I don't like it. I'd rather just take the lows and just get it over with at that point. But I've seen this play out before, even in slow motion, where it just keeps grinding higher and higher and higher from that zone. So I would certainly not ignore it. Okay, I would definitely keep it in the back of my mind. Look, they front ran the damn. They hit the. I forgot they hit the. They hit the zone here, and I forgot to take the damn trade. I'm slacking, bro. I'm slacking. Did they have 15-second break? Yeah, kind of, but it wasn't really a 30-second break. I would have rather that be a 30-second. My favorite idea would be this now, because this isn't really good structure. This is range structure. You see a range forming here? I don't like that kind of crap. If I'm taking a trade, I want it to be swift and fast, straight to the point kind of stuff. That's not straight to the point. This is like you take a short trade and it's going red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. I hate being in trades like that. If I'm right, I want to be right immediately, not an hour later on a 1 second, 30-second trade. No, not having it. So I wouldn't even have, I would have closed it out of that once I seen it red, green, or I would have stopped the break even immediately. So now I'm kind of hoping they take out the high again, hit that block and do this. And that's the trade for a short, or it just sweeps this high ever so slightly, hits the anchor VWAP perhaps, doesn't even hit the upper supply here. And then you get a rejection down with some kind of structure, hopefully some kind of structure on that move up, which I don't know if you're going to get it, but that would be the ideal scenario. The safer scenario is to wait for this to break, obviously. Your main low. So if your main low ends up being here, then waiting for that to break, getting in here and stop here is a safer trade. It kind of sucks though from a risk reward standpoint, but it would be safer. The alternative would be, hopefully it comes up like this. Really, this would be the best thing. Kind of like a model 1, 1, 2, 3. That would be my favorite scenario. It's a micro model 1 distribution into the upper supply, into the anchor VWAPs. Enter here, stop right here, and then it should be an easy peasy win. Really, that should be an easy win. I would still de-risk it very quickly. I'm actually going to leave that like kind of on the back burner here as a potential candidate for a trade. I'm going to set some alerts down here as well. I'm going to put more around that that low at 68.3 and the 2-minute block at 68.2. And of course, down at the actual range low at 68K even, we have alerts there already in the 10-minute block. We already have, yeah, you can kind of see where I have alerts right now. I have a lot of alerts, by the way. A little bit too many, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy cow, what was I thinking? That's way too many alerts. Okay, I got to fix some of this. Okay, wow. What do I got going on here? I duplicated them. That's why I turned my alert lines off. Sometimes it can be beneficial. Other times it can cause you grief like this because you can't see what's going on. But I have it on log mode for some reason. That's why it's saying that. That's okay. And I'm going to actually wipe this guy. I'm going to leave an alert up here for sure. I don't mind doubling up because sometimes they don't go off, right? Sometimes trading you will dick you around and your alert won't go off. So I always feel like putting more than one alert is the wiser play. But looking at this and trying to chart this is terrible when you have that many alerts opened. So what I like to do, if you don't know how to do it, is you right click it and hide alert lines. And if you want to turn it back on, just go over here and add them back. Same way. You can right click the where the alert is, right? So that's pretty much everything. Like I don't really have anything else to even consider trading right now. I don't think again, if you want to trade the nitty gritty stuff and you're trying to catch every move from here to here, from here to here, here to here on a Sunday night, like I mean, I wish you the best. It is possible. It really is possible, but I don't really have the patience to do that right now. I don't need to do that. Like I don't need to catch every single trade there is, right? So I don't really care enough to. I have nothing against it. Like I have nothing against that as an idea. Like even if you longed here because it hit this OB, it's you only had this guy and this guy left within the range. So yeah, it was a high probability zone. Just like this is a high probability stopping point as well. So it could have been worth a scalp at the very least, and you did get a little scalp, but it wasn't tempting enough for me to take it. So unless it does kind of like what I've already outlined like 5 times, that's the only way I'm taking a trade. Right. I'm not trading in between this range right now. I don't really care to. I don't really care to. No. I mean, my trading view is glitched out right now. That's why I didn't open the ETH chart. The second that I try switching my tab, it's going to freeze 100%. It just did it before the stream and I had to restart my computer. I have to, I don't know what's going on with it right now. I think I have to log out and log back in. That's why I didn't open a different window right now. But I will post any updates that I see on ETH. I mean, I already showed you guys on my channel what I'm looking at anyway. There's nothing in between. I'm not scalping ETH. The only thing that I care about on ETH were these two ideas that I posted in my channel at 1 p.m. EST today. So I told you guys I was watching for that zone to hold, the upper zone, which we technically have held so far. And then I told you to watch 1921 to 1905. What I didn't say is to watch for an SFP of 1900. If you SFP 1900, you do have a partial order block under there that has been missed on a lower time frame that could be mitigated. You don't even have to really draw it in. As long as you SFP that 1900 low, then it's worth a trade. You can just look at my ETH channel. Here, I'll copy the link over so you guys can see it very quickly if you didn't see it already. But basically, those two ideas are my main ideas, right? Again, I'm looking for higher time frame structure. Here's the thing. Anything that I tell you on Bitcoin, if you think Bitcoin's long at any given moment, that means you can translate that over to ETH most times and be correct, right? Not every time, but most times it will give you the correct result. You can, I know lots of guys that instead of risking 2% on Bitcoin when they take a Bitcoin trade, they do all the TA on Bitcoin and they'll just long ETH at the same time, 1%, 1%. There's different ways to do it, right? There's different ways to do it. I mean, how often do you take a Bitcoin trade, like you take a short from here on Bitcoin, and you take a short from here on ETH, but ETH does this and Bitcoin does this? Very, very, very rarely, right? Very rarely. I mean, it's still wise to do TA on both, but at the same time, at the end of the day, they're going to do the same thing, right? They're just going to translate a little bit differently, but it's going to be the same thing. So, like for me, till I see Bitcoin do something that I want it to do, I'm not really even interested in ETH at all. Not at all. Like not even the slightest. I still need to see it do what I need it to do. But that's pretty much it, guys. I already kind of overstayed a little bit here because my wife's kind of waiting for me to do a few things that I haven't done. She wants help with a few things. I have to help her. So I'm gonna head off. I'm probably not gonna trade again unless we hit these upper zones and lower zones, or if this scalp happens in the next few minutes. Spartan, is there anything you want to add or no? Are you good?
Nah, I like that low level that you're talking about, the freaking 67 5-ish area. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's really nice. That's the overall POC or one of the big fat nodes from that macro lower range. So that's something I've been eyeing.
67.5.
67.5.
You
Where's
said
that?
it's a
It's look. I'll post it in the chat real quick because I don't really want to share my
It's
screen.
kind of well. That's actually at the bottom. That's yeah, fair game. But that's at the bottom of the order block that I had. I mean, I guess it could SFP the order block. Sure, could happen. It's kind of far down though
Yeah,
for me.
it would 67.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit further than I would have liked. It's like I don't know. Is there anything at like 67.7 or 67.8 or
Yeah,
no?
like that node, and I'm gonna show you it now in the chat. That node is thick, so it's two bars that are fat as hell. So like, look, that's it right there. So the top of that node, you pretty much have two bars that are equal in length. The top of that node is 68. The bottom of that big fat node is 67. So you have $1,000 within that range, which is also a what is it, a daily fair value gap or an 18-hour fair value gap, something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that close. It's an 18-hour or 12-hour fair value gap. You know.
When you drew in that HVN there, yeah, the picture you just sent me,
Uh huh.
not me, but the one you posted. I mean,
Yeah.
did you draw that? Did you draw that HVN in from the right hand side, or did you take it from the left and you just circled the right hand side?
What do you mean?
I mean, is there another volume pole that I'm not seeing that you looked at, like a fixed range from like way back when that I'm
No,
not seeing on the screen?
that is the fixed range. Look at the gray bars to the right. That's the volume pool from this entire range. So I'll show you the whole picture. Hold on.
So why do you draw it in there, the line? Why is the line there though,
Because it's an
in the middle
HVN.
of those two high notes?
What
Yeah,
do
but
you mean? What do you
wouldn't it be the top of the?
do you look at the picture? You see the
I am. I'm trying to paste it over here. Hold on. Look at this. Okay, look at
no
my
no no
screen
no no no.
so I can show.
Look at the picture I just sent. But yeah, that's the high volume node of the overall. So that is yeah. So look, that's the POC of that big old freaking node down there, and it line.
Oh,
That's the POC
right
right there.
here.
Yeah, that's the POC. Like, but I'm looking. That gray one is all of those ranges. Like that's literally the pool from I think early 2024 all the way to current day. So that's showing
Now
that.
that's on USD. You're on
What?
USD. Do you find you're on USD perpetual contract? That's not USDT.
Same shit.
So does that? It's not though.
It's
It's
the
not.
same, dude. It's the same shit. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
It's not. It's not.
Hold on. And you said USDT. Let me get the USDT chart real quick.
Maybe it is okay. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm just gonna say it's not.
Yeah, it's the exact same. Look, this is the
Is it
USD.
really?
Yeah, like it's not the same exact level. I think it's 67.5 on USDT, but it's the same structure in the volume profile. Like now, if we'd have two separate, look, this is USDT here. If we had two separate volume profiles on USDT versus USD, like they look crazily different, then you know what? I'm gonna sit back and try to dissect which one's more reliable. But it's showing the same high volume nodes, the same POCs as the USD. Sure, they're not at the exact same dollar level, but they're at the same area.
Scam,
That's yeah,
scam,
scam.
scammer,
It's not the same. Price
scammer.
is a little different. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, but that's
Well,
that's that's the same thing as looking at any chart. Like for you idiots that trade on or you freaking chart on Bybit, but you trade on MEXC. Like it's the same shit,
yeah.
man.
What's wrong with that?
Huh?
I'm
There's
guess I'm. I guess I'm. Okay. I take offense, sir.
take
Okay.
offense. Take offense. Take a
I will.
gate. Take a gate and a fence. I don't care. But
So
no.
what you're saying, according to your Einstein calculations, what I don't understand is when you draw these things, are you trying to draw the horizontal line on
The POC.
Yeah, but you're not taking it from this side, right? You're taking it from over here.
No, I'm taking it from that side, the right side. I'm taking it
You are
from
taking it from here.
yeah, that because that's the macro volume node.
So why do you do it as an exact price point instead of taking the box and just going like that? Because you know how do you like how can you possibly think it's going to hit to the dollar like that? You know what I mean?
It's just more so under over. I do kind of see it
Okay.
as a zone, but like, and
Yeah.
I've said it a million times. These lines aren't supposed to be to the dollar. Like they are areas of interest. I want to see us
Yeah.
reclaiming those levels, and that's on the retest of that area. That's where I'm looking to get in. But again, I'm not just looking for a tap and we're going. I'm looking for something else, whether it be an accumulation, a distribution, a freaking GP, something else to add on to the point of interest. Don't get
Yeah,
me
I
wrong.
got you. I got you.
Sometimes those taps work, but I've learned more times than other they work better as points of interest than entry models. Stop freaking drawing, jerk. You're so artistic.
I just want to share with you.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna have an
man.
art class, so
But yeah.
$1,000 per session.
Yeah, but
You.
that's just what I'm
Oh
kind of.
no!
Are we dropping
Look!
again?
Look! 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 I got this. Bro, I got this. Damn it, bro!
Haha,
No one
sucker.
told me. They told me afterwards. They're like, the short play it out.
You're
By
too
the way,
bit.
Phoenix, we're just gonna get in before you knock it down. And look, 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 look. You can't even make this shit up, man.
Too
How did I
busy.
not? Did I not have an alert there?
Too busy drawing, bro. That's what it is.
Look, look, it happened. It happened right here, man. Oh well, I hope you guys made money. I guess. Damn it! I could have bought a new. Could have bought a new SUV to that money, bro. What? How big a move is that? Let's see. Okay, I had a $38 stop loss, 6%. Okay, maybe not. I've only would have risked like $1,000 on that. So I could have made 6K. I'm at 6K right now because I talked for 10 minutes. That sucks. But anyway, well, that's okay.
You'll be all
It's
right.
part of. I'll survive.
I think you will.
Yeah,
I think you will.
I'll survive. Hurts the soul though. I'm not gonna lie. It hurts the soul just a little bit.
You were too busy drawing on the chart instead of looking for trades. Yeah, I'm gonna laugh if we don't take this low now and we just pump it all the way back.
Me too, because I didn't get in the freaking short. Watch, bro. No, it's whenever I miss the short from talking, it ends up being the short of a century. It
No.
ends up being like the short, like the high. Okay, so actually, if I was to look at this now, this might be what we're doing. Just a quick rejection here. Short version 2 is right here, but this is, I mean, you're getting in sketchier territory now, right? That's short V2. Man, I can't believe that. Like, look at these beautiful, these are my babies, okay? This anchor VWAP range, I mean, come on. Into supply like that, like, come on. That
Wait,
was such a good call.
what is
Wow, I
that?
missed
Your
the call.
what is that? The actual or those are anchor points?
Yeah, anchor VWAPs. My anchor VWAP ranges are fucking insane, bro. Excuse my language, but they deserve. I have to call them like they. I have to call them for what they are. They just work so well. Now on the 15 second, it looks like shit, but on the 1 minute, I don't really observe them on the 15 second. I look on the 1 minute plus. Like, look at this beautiful anchor VWAP range rejection. Wow. Yeah, all you have to do is just wait for it to close out. If you don't have structure, just wait for it to close out, cover it, and then down. Like, come on, you can't get easier than that, right? Engulfing candle, bearish engulfing, enter on the bearish engulfing, leading out. Man, it's like taking candy from a baby, literally
That's
taking candy from a baby.
that's crazy. Why would you do that?
I just can't believe I didn't see that. I don't know. I had your chart like pasted on my fucking screen.
You're tripping,
So I
bro.
was like trying to like figure out the how I didn't hear it, bro. I didn't hear the alert go
I
off.
don't think
Honestly, I didn't.
I didn't. Like
Um,
I didn't hear an alert. I think you should
I know I had one there, so I
I
don't know
think
what happened.
you should sue TradingView.
I'm going to.
You should.
That's it. I'm going to. Actually, we have a little bit of a distribution going on here on the very, very low 5 second chart. Kind of a wonky one, but it is valid on the 5 second time frame. You see that? You have, ooh, we got to move this out of the way right quick. It's in our way. So we have one. This is probably going to be the short zone again. 1, 2, 3, If you get above that though, that's not a good sign. Now it's not a good sign unless it's an SFP. You close structure below. I think it's going to go lower here. Let's see. Let's see if short zone version 2 works out very quickly, I guess, before I call it a night. I'll stay on for a few more minutes, a couple more minutes.
Dude,
That's it
that
though.
freaking 5 second chart is crazy.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to use it to see what's going on. Like I don't trade it by any means. Never, ever, ever have I ever taken a trade in the 5 second. Jay has though. I don't.
Jay
Yeah, he has like a strategy for that.
Jay is an animal. Like people don't give Jay the credit he deserves. He's one of like the better traders that I know of, man. He really is. His system
Yeah,
is pretty damn freaking good. You know?
I don't know. I don't really know what he does, but yeah, he definitely makes money. That's for sure. Yeah, everybody has their own kind of thing, right? And that's cool. Oh, look
And
at this. We went from a little distribution here into another, to what appears to be an accumulation. One, two, and then kind of like a three. They're trying to hold it here. I can kind of see what's going on in the 5 second without actually being on the 5 second. So if they break down right here, right now, this is definitely going on here. Yeah. Short version number 2 is working out as of right now. Let's see. Let's see if they. I did take short V2 though, so my stop's at break even right now. So let's see if I win because I have to win something. Come on. It moved a whole $44 from my entry so far. Yay! Such an awesome scalp trade. If only somebody had told me and shook my head, like Phoenix, wake up! You're missing your trade, bro. No, 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 can't get that lucky. Can't get that lucky.
you wanna hire me, bro? I'll be your alert. Freaking I'll just call you every time one of your trade setups is freaking playing out.
You guys did? Really? What?
Yeah,
Oh, he did too. He edited you sneaky little fucker. Xander's like, yeah, I did, bro. Watch, he's trying to troll me. He's trolling me. Edited. I see what you did, Xander. I see what you did.
six
He's
seven.
trying to. He's like, yeah, I did it. 6-7, 6-7. That's what he said. 6-7. That's the signal.
6-7 is always the signal.
Yeah. Let's see if I get stopped to break even on this trade. I will lose probably like 0.02 or 0.2%.
You took it?
Not a whole 2%. Yeah, I took it. I already missed the first trade, so I just hammered it in.
Fuck it.
I got
Yo.
filled limit order. I didn't mark it. I took a limit. I didn't go big. I'm only in for 6 Bitcoin. Let's see if it works.
Well, then you gotta go home.
Well, I'm not taking a huge trade on this kind of move. The move was here.
If you didn't
This
go,
was the trade.
still you need to go home, bro.
Nobody gave it to me. Nobody gave it to me. You guys took it from me.
Xander
You
did.
all took it from me.
Xander did.
This is the Jason Casper crew shorting it. Like they're like, oh, the 2 minute order block, and they all shorted it away before I could get filled. That's what they did to me. How greedy? How greedy is that, right? Like they got filled and they dumped it on me. The whales in here dumped it on me, bro. Now I'm gonna get stopped out at break even on this attempt. They are.
You see the
Bro,
like, dude. You're one. Honestly, you're one of the best traders that I know. Actually, you're probably the best trader that I actually know. And the shit that happens to you on stream is so funny because you'll miss a trade because you're explaining something, then you'll hop in and then you'll get stopped out. And I know for a fact if you weren't streaming, that would never happen. But I just see it in real time and I'm just like, poor guy, bro. Like,
happens to me.
why
But
is
I miss so many trades from streaming that I don't even want to talk about the amount of money that I lost. I don't want to say lost because it's not really losing, but I
yeah.
don't want to even like acknowledge how much money. I'm unplugging my monitor, by the way. I'm going back to my laptop one because now I'm actually getting cramped up sitting at this desk. But honestly, if this dumps $1,000, okay, cool. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think short, yeah, yeah. This is a good short so far for a little tiny shit scalp. I call this shit scalping. It's a little shit scalp. You know, there's not really much to it, but you gotta just take what you can get at this point. This is kind of like sloppy seconds here. This is sloppy seconds scalping, okay? We took the sloppy second scalp for those that didn't get up here. At least we got something. I'm totally not TPing this, so I don't give a crap. This is going down lower. I'm getting broke even. I'm not. I'm too greedy. I'm too greedy for that. But yeah, bro, that happens to me all the time. Like I actually did the math one day and just kind of did like an average of like how much I probably would have had extra net worth wise. Oh my god, it was a lot of money. I'm not even going to say the number because it's too much, and I don't even want to think about the number. But it was, I think I'd have like 6 to 7 times my net worth if I didn't do Discord stuff. But here's the thing, though: do I need all that money? No, I don't need that money. When I could be help, and I know I'm going to sound like a weirdo here, but when I could help other people, like achieve things, I feel better. I feel like that gives you better karma in life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Sure, I could have a lot more of my. I could have made millions more, but I don't need it, right? Like I don't need it. So like that's why I help people. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Sometimes I get flustered at it, and I'm like, then I come back to my senses, and I'm like, but you're helping people, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's rewarding. So I'll take it, man. Listen, I'll take it. I don't care if that sounds corny, but I'll take it. But anyway, yeah, this is working. This is working, not too shabby. It's not the greatest risk reward trade that we've seen. This was way better. What is this up so far? Let me see. If I actually did it with proper risk, I'd be up 2.5%. I didn't do it with proper risk. I only took a six Bitcoiner. It's not really great, but if I had a TP'd on that low, I'd be up like what, like $1,200 ish. Not even like $900 or something like that. I'm up about 700 something like now. Whatever. I'll take it though. I'll take it. If I had to hit that other trade, I would have hammered it. I would have hammered that one. I would have probably went in max position size on that one on 2 accounts. If I could have got filled there. I need to buy the neighbor's house, bro. Yeah, I know. Well, actually, it's kind of like infested with like drugs and stuff now, so I don't know if I really want to buy that one.
What do you mean infested with drugs? What, that you might pick up like a freaking nickel bag or something? I wonder what type of drugs it was.
I wonder too. It's not. They didn't make any like announcements about it. Usually, they're always like, "Hey, this is what we've confiscated." What's that sound?
It was
Is that
probably
you?
me.
Yeah. Are you
No,
are you huffing and puffing in this microphone?
no.
That was weird. Sound like somebody was going
Luke.
like with their nose. I heard a weird like sniffing sound, and I didn't. That was very weird.
Maybe it was your neighbors.
Um, it might have been. Yeah. I can hear them snorting from here. They're snorting up with their straws all the way. I can hear them all the way from over here, 10 miles away. No, they went to jail for sure. So what happened was that I think those guys there was like a gunfight there too. There was like 2 gunfights, bro. And the same, like that never happens here. Like I don't even know a person that owns a gun around here. And yeah, there was like 2 gunfights, and well, I think somebody got shot, but they didn't like die. So, but it's all being hush hush right now. So I don't know why they're not just announcing it, and they didn't put out any kind of emergency alert or anything. They didn't tell anybody. Would have been nice to know, because like we have kids and stuff. My kids were at a neighbor's, not that neighbor's obviously, but they were at a friend's house in the area, and they didn't know. Like that's not, like they didn't. No one told them to lock the doors or anything like that. Like that's, bro. They're lucky that nothing happened because I'm a crazy motherfucker. I don't deal with nonsense in life. That's all I gotta say. I'd take them all down, bro. They would be sued up the ass. Something ever happened. But yeah, this short's working. Not too bad. Not too bad. Does he have his AVWAP settings posted? All it is no, I don't have it posted, but all it is just the standard AVWAP setting, and you change the source to high, and then the default one is here. So this is your default, and this is your high, and then if you're pulling it from a low, you use low. So what I do is I copy and paste. I do the same pull twice, right? And I copy and paste it, and I change the settings to high on one if it's at a high, and HLC divided by 3, and that gives me a range. And they work very, very, very well. Now, obviously, when you go to the second time frame, it doesn't work well. you have to look at it on the 1 minute plus, or it's going to look funny. You can see how beautiful that is right here. That's such an amazing short trade. This isn't too bad so far, actually. Our secondary scalp's not bad. Stop loss was a little bit wider, but the first one was great. That was an awesome short. Riskier. I'm going to say it's risky. Both ideas are riskier, but sometimes you gotta nibble. Sometimes you just got to go for it. You got to go for the kill, right? Scared money don't make no money, right? Scared money don't make no money. I got that in Spartan's head. I'll be singing that for the rest of the evening.
I hate
Is that right, Spartan?
scared money don't make no
Scared
money.
money don't make no money. Yeah, I don't even know any other word of that song. Like I can't hear a word that guy's saying besides that. It's in crypto face and market cipher, whatever.
Crypto
That's all.
face
I know
market.
like those words. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know a single word besides that. Scared money don't make no money. It's actually catchy though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's super
Like I
catchy.
thought that was pretty cool from years ago. Yeah, it really is. It really is until it starts talking about fucking
You
indicators. That
win
part's pretty
some,
stupid, but like the
you
rest is.
lose some, but you live to take another trade. Some shit like that. You live to trade another day. Live to make another play. You win some, you lose some.
Bro, did you see what Xander said?
Nah, Xander can kick rocks. He's from Canada.
We throw rocks up here. We skip them, by the way. Do you know how to skip rocks?
Uh-uh. Yeah, I do know how to skip
You
a rock.
Floridian. How many times can you skip a rock?
Depending on how many rocks I get to begin, I could skip it a few times. Depends how you break it down. Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about
but
like
like if you have,
stones. Oh, I don't
yeah,
know.
like skipping. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about breaking something down and never mind. I could probably skip like 6 or 7 times. You know,
Wait, what did you just say?
I just said I could I could skip a rock like 6 or 7 times.
Before that, let's rewind that. What did you say?
I said it's
Oh man,
depending how you break it down, bro. That's how many times you can skip it and flip it. Break, yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm not a teacher.
no, you're a quantity teacher.
Yeah,
Not a real teacher. He's a wanted
man.
teacher.
Hey, Peter. At least I can spell my name correctly.
Crackhead.
Peter. Peter. All right, Peter. Peter.
2 millimeter, 2 millimeter Peter. No, I'm kidding, bro. That was funny. When I made that comment the other day, he just commented like, "What did he say?" It was so funny, man. I didn't even like realize he was in the chat when I said that. I wasn't even thinking of it like that, bro. He was just like very offended. I was talking about the candlestick.
He's like, "What? That's not small. That's an average candlestick."
Oh man, that was too funny though. You can't make that
Oh,
shit up, bro. That just happened. So
that's why the Discord's so cool, man. Oh,
yeah,
hey, remember what I talked to you
and so
before stream? They just texted back, so I don't even know what to say.
yeah,
No,
that's crazy.
yeah.
I tell her to go fly away.
Go fly away.
Go fly to a different country.
The
Yeah.
balloons might help her though.
Get out of here. Balloons? Yeah.
Yeah, balloon, balloon.
Yeah. Helium. Yeah. That's funny, bro. But I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah, unless you have anything you want to add. I'm just gonna stay in this short trade and then if this
Nah,
doesn't like
bro.
move here soon, I'm probably gonna take
You're good. Freaking, I'm just gonna upload this as soon as possible so the people that didn't get to watch this, they'll just be able to watch it later.
still can't get over how do you upload videos that quick? I don't understand.
What do you mean? It's not hard. You just press upload.
It takes me like 2 hours every time. It's so stupid.
Nah, bro. Like honestly, most times it's like at least halfway finished by the time I'm done creating the description, the end screens, uploading the thumbnail. It's already done. So Even our 2 hour videos, freaking, they upload pretty quick. Told you I got fast internet, bro. You
Bro,
guys are the
Thor
ones
would
who
have a
don't.
heart attack if he seen. You would have a Thor would have a heart attack if he see me scalping this. He'd be like, "Why are you scalping a 0.3% move, bro?" Oh well. If he had to see me on the 5 second, if he see me on the 5 second chart, he would have been like having a mental breakdown. I think when I was doing the 5 second TA that got us the short.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one though. I'm not gonna lie.
it
I'm pretty
was.
impressed with myself with that scalp.
You should.
Yeah,
Don't stay up though. That's
I am.
for a reason. Thor's great, man. Thor's great. I love that guy. He is picky, man.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys don't do Sundays usually, right? Like that. You guys are just like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right?
Monday,
For the
Wednesday,
journey.
yeah. Yeah, until the bull market
Oh,
starts, we're just gonna do Monday, Wednesday. Just because
fair game.
it's been so dead on Fridays, man. Like, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's funny.
Thor is a picky trader. But you know what though? That's okay. Like you know what? I get it. I get it. The pickier you are, I mean, no, you're not going to get every trade out there. You know, but he doesn't. He already said, like, you know, to his defense, though, I will say this: like, he doesn't have to trade like the way, like you know, he doesn't need to. He's not in a position where he has to like in and out scalp. Like, you know, I guess I'm not either. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not either. I don't, but I like it, man. I'm addicted to it. I can't help myself. I'm always pushing. Right? I like to push my limits very often, as you can tell. I mean, when have you ever seen me? If you guys from like DJ, I know you've been around for years. Like, when have you ever seen me using the 5 second, 30 second? Only a few months ago. Like, I've never used it for years, and now that I've like finally said screw it, I'm going to try it. I can't. I love it, man. I do. I love it. Like, you know, it's dangerous, but I love it. I
Mm.
love living on edge. You know, I do it in a smart way. Like, I'm not just picking stupid zones, and very often I'm right. You know, but it's each their own. Like if you want to be like a swing trader or pick high time frame zones only, absolutely. I'm a firm believer that you can trade pretty much anywhere as long as you know what you're looking for and know where you're targeting. If you don't know where you're targeting, like you can't do it. You just can't do it. Like with this short here, you can't start targeting. Like what I have on my screen is pretty much the target. Like even right now, this is actually I already just took half out. I just took half my I'm only in 3 Bitcoin right now. I just took half out already because I'm not looking for a huge move. And if it goes down huge, whatever, I don't care. I hit my target. You know what I mean? If you have that mentality, you're going to do way better with in and out scalping. If you don't have the mentality, then this trading isn't going to be for you because you're going to keep round tripping everything, and you're going to hit stop after stop after stop. You know, it all depends on what you want to do, really. I guess. Say I'd rather take multiple trades that are like $300 moves because you don't get every day. You're not going to get a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 move, right? But if you calculate all the ups and downs, you probably have like 20,000 worth of moves in a day or more on Bitcoin, right? You just don't see it. You just don't see it usually because it's like ranging up and down, up 500, down 500, up 500, down 500. But if you scalp all those, like the man, you can make a lot of money. You don't even need to trade another asset. You can make a lot just trading Bitcoin, and that's kind of like what I do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the small time frames. Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the small time frames. Yeah, I guess everybody has their own preferences for sure, but it's fun. That was a fun scalp. I like that one. I like that last little one, even because it was kind of like last minute. I was like, oh no, I missed the short because no one alerted me besides Xander with 6-7. He gave me the 6-7 alert, and I didn't see it. And because no one wanted to tag me because they knew that I'd pull the rug on the market. That's why they're all scared that I would market rug it, and they wouldn't be able to get in if I got in there. I know how it is. I know how it is. That's why you guys that you listen. The second that I got in that trade, she dumped pretty quickly, though. I will say that, even though it was a small trade, that the breaker block reaction that was beautiful. But that's a perfect example. Like actually, what I have on my screen right now is a perfect example of like when I wouldn't wait for price to come back up to these order blocks here. Why wouldn't I wait for that? Because you shot right through demand. Right here. This was your demand zone, this pink box. You went right through it. So why, like if you recover too much of that move, it's just going to squeeze. So even if I had an order block up here, which there is probably one on some kind of a time frame, Very rarely is that going to be the one that, after a big push down like this, very rarely are you going to see this. Most times you'll get this little reaction, up. So that's why I said we're at a very important spot here. And when I seen that micro distribution forming, when I started drawing it out on the 32nd, I was zoomed in like this. Bro, I think I just timed the bottom of that move here. Shit. I think I got my half TP out and the rest is at break even. Right here, I seen the 1, the 2, the 3. Very, very low time frame. I knew that was a 5-second distro. So then I knocked it down to the 5. And I said, okay, you know, if we start breaking down here, I know I said this. I said, if we start breaking down here, this is where we could, like this in theory could be the short. So I literally got in right here. This was my trade, but I did cover the breaker though. I gave it a little bit of room in case I was wrong, just to be smart about it. And then as it went down, I put my stop to break even basically, and that was that. That's it. That's all I did. Not a bad little scalp. But yeah, so like if we had gotten above that, distro, well then you have a failed distro and it could have easily squeezed up. That's why I want to see a breakdown right away. Like this is a trade, believe it or not, that I take all the time. Now again, I'm not telling you guys to do it. I'm just saying like it is riskier, right? It's like low time frame, anything, if you don't know what you're doing or if you're not paying very, very, very close attention, can destroy you. So it's not something I would like suggest doing unless you're at that skill level. You know, you feel like you're at that skill level. So unfortunately, we didn't hit the full target on the shorts on either short, which my full target was this line here and then this demand down here. We came very close though. Like there's no excuse not to TP when you're that close to TP1 zone. Your first low, your range low is obviously TP1. So you got a front run on your range low. Now what I'm thinking is if we come back up, I'm watching this box right here. If we come into this box and do the same thing, same kind of structure that happened here, the same kind of structure that happened up in here, presents again, right here, I'd short it again. And then I'll target here, and then I'll target here. No problem. That's an easy trade. I'll take that any day. But you're not going to be able to do it if you're on the 1 minute. Like if you don't have like the seconds time frames, don't even waste your time because you're not going to be able to see it properly. You know what I mean? And that's obviously not for everybody. So don't force it on yourself if you don't feel like that's something you should be doing. I want to make that very clear because it does take a more experienced trader to be able to pull that off. We actually are coming into that right now. So either I get stopped on the rest of my short or we end up rejecting from this box. It's either A or B. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. I'm still hoping that we do reject because I would love to get this deviation over with. I want to come down here and see if we get a good long. But, you know, maybe it just ranges. It could just totally just range in this zone and just do stupid things like this all night long for all we know. Kind of like this and this and this and this. I'm hoping I'm wrong because I don't want that to be the case. But because I'd rather just get a nice long so I can go to bed. But we'll see. We will see. I am going to put an alert here, though, because last time I forgot, I think. I have one here. I'm going to put one right here. And sometimes you'll actually come back up into these anchor view op ranges, so I wouldn't delete that anchor view op range. I would actually draw this high in. There's a good old fire alarm right there. A smoke detector, I mean. If we come back into this zone right here, it could still reject, but I wouldn't want to trade it if we closed above this high on the 1 minute. Like if we start actually closing up in there, not so great. If we just do a little SFP of that high into the anchor view ups again and immediately reject like that, using, I don't know, 15-second plus structure, I'll probably try another short there too. So I kind of have two ideas for shorts right now. And if we don't do either, I'm not chasing it up with a long here. I'll just wait until we get above actual VWAP, which is up, actually, actual VWAP is up in this box now. So I'll wait to see if we get above actual VWAP, or I will, and then I'll look for longs above VWAP, taking out the Asian high, or I'll just rim-see it up. We'll see. I don't know yet. I have to, I may not even be awake for this because I'm just ready to call it quits now. We're getting a little bit of rejection before I end the call here. We are seeing a little bit of rejection into this supply. It's trying to break down again. Let's see if it does. You have a 1, 2, 3 again. It's not as close as I would have liked, but it's still valid. 1, 2, 3. It's trying to break down again now, but this range is so far away that it makes more sense to wait for this low to break. Oops. This low right here makes way more sense for a confirmation because this could fake us out for a higher high. So basically, this is where I'd go on the 15, and I'd be waiting for a close below this point here, and then I could try another short trade. I'm not going to go big though. It's going to be a small trade because, well, it's not a really good risk reward ratio. Could be even worse than this. But this is kind of like the idea that I envision. Break down from that low. I would hope it breaks down and then back tests a little bit. That's what I'm hoping, not just a straight breakdown. And hopefully the entry can be more like up here. That way you can refine your risk reward a little bit. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Again, this is very, very dangerous scalping here because you've already had 1, 2 of these distros play out. A third one, on the 5-second time frame, you're kind of pushing your luck for 3 in a row. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen, but now we have other areas of interest, and we just fronted the range low that may have actually swept the range low on a different exchange, right? Or a different ticker may have taken that low. So this actually could still be a deviation. Let me check one thing before I end the call here. Let's see if it did. Did that take the low elsewhere? Let me go to the 1 minute. I don't think that's loading. I need another. What's another exchange name? XC? Did we take that low or not? No, I don't think we did on those exchanges. What about Coinbase? Let's check Coinbase very quick. No, we didn't. Okay. According to that anyway, that indicator sometimes glitches out on me though. You could check it for sure. I just can't right now. It's gonna lag me out. Yeah, this is looking like it wants to go back down. We'll see. Anyway, I'm pretty much done. I hope you guys made some kind of money. Okay, so that's you're gonna be in the recording. Like the Anchor VWAP stuff is actually I've explained it in the past few streams. I actually have. Like if you go back to the last few streams that are recorded, I have explained it multiple times. It's very, very simple. Right? I'm literally just using the Anchor VWAP indicator and I'm drawing it on whatever high or low that I choose. And I'm taking the HLC divided by 3 setting as my input source for one of them. And I copy it over, I copy paste the indicator, the Anchor VWAP, and I change one to high, the input source to high or to low, depending on if I'm at a high or a low. And I show you guys like many times, right? Just go through the video again. I showed it in this stream so you can easily check it. So simple to do, right? So simple to do. But anywho, I'm going to take off now. You guys have a great evening, great weekend. Hope you guys had an awesome Valentine's Day. And tomorrow for my American friends, hope you have a great holiday. I think my Canadian friends as well. I don't know if it's all over Canada, but I know we have a holiday tomorrow. So wish you all happy holidays, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, I guess, or what London brings. And maybe they have the Gigapump moved overnight. We'll see. I won't be trading it, but you know, I would definitely watch for it because they've been doing these big pushes up and down lately. So don't expect London to pull off a range tonight, especially if Asia remains sideways. I think London will be the one to do the expansion. So just keep an eye on that if you're up for London. Anywho, you guys have a great day, great evening, great morning, wherever you are in the world. And any final words, Mr. Home Ec teacher?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
You support women's sports. I appreciate that.
Such a dickhead.
That was a whole. You can't. Like, that was such a good comment. Whoever said that day was
Oh,
like that
dude,
was so
I
funny,
was
bro.
dying. I've told that to so many of my guy coworkers. Like, I'm a little scared to tell it to my female coworkers, but they all started dying laughing.
That's so funny, bro.
Oh, for sure.
That guy like crushed it with that comment.
Oh, sorry. I've never partaken
Yeah.
in women's sports. Like, jeez, man, giving crypto bros a bad name.
Here, last thing I want to say. I want to comment one more thing before I go. That's not a break. You see how it barely broke the line there? I'm not calling that a break. Like I wouldn't have just market shorted here. I wouldn't be market shorting right here with the stop right here now. I mean, you can try it, but it's risky. I can't call that a break because if I go to a different time frame, it's going to look like an SFP, right? Like, look at that. You see, it's SFPs. That's no good to me. It's no good to me. Now, could it still work? It could work. It just doesn't look as legible as the last two, right? So, like now, technically, I'd rather wait for this. If I was to try a short, even though you're getting in really, really dangerous short territory at the moment, if I were to try one with a small risk, theoretically, I'd have to see this broken down, right? If I was playing it smart, I would do that, or I'd have to wait for this upward structure to kind of like flip flop like that first. But again, you're going to be using a very, very low time frame, like 5 seconds, to see that kind of structure. You know, it's risky. Do with that information as you will. I can't tell you to enter a trade. Obviously, I never will. Well, I did do that before, actually. I think that's the only time I ever did that was the short at like 70. What was it, 74K or like 75K one morning a couple weeks ago? I was like, guys, like I'm giga short right now. Like I've never actually like came out blatantly screaming to press the short button in my life like that. I was just so confident that day, bro. And it was actually the top of the day, and technically people could have rode that short all the way down to 60K. That was insane. But I was like, yeah, like this is an actual signal. It's not very often that I do that, but if you hear me screaming like I'm giga short, this is like a short right now, then yeah, this is a short right now. Like big short, no die. You know, that was an awesome one. But anywho, yeah, you guys have a great evening. We'll we'll reintervene tomorrow evening, I guess, and then I'll post some stuff tomorrow morning if I see anything. But if New York's going to be dead tomorrow, I'm not trading it. I'm not trading crap price action. So anyhow, great evening. Cheers. Bye bye.